All right, what is up, everyone? Basketball fans. I just did a prediction for the NHL hockey playoffs, and now I'm going to do one now that Phoenix just beat Golden State and the NBA playoff brackets are set. So now that it's all done, I'm going to be making my playoff predictions. And starting off with round one, Phoenix, OKC. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, I think this is going to be a fun series. I think it's going to be a competitive series. I like this matchup. I like because the only times when OKC has beaten Phoenix in the regular season is when Phoenix has never been like fully healthy with all their like players. So, I think like I'm still gonna pick OKC here, but I'm gonna pick them in 7 games, and I want Phoenix to win too. I enjoy watching that team. I like them, man. They're fun to watch, especially with Jalen Green of what he did to the Warriors. That was fun. Like I'm gonna pick OKC in 7 for that. Lakers Rockets. Obviously, Lakers are probably going to be without Luka and Austin Reeves, and old LeBron is just not going to cut it, and the rest of their players are just mediocre. Houston. So I'm probably going to go with Houston here. I'm going to say Houston, and I'm going to give LeBron one. I'm going to say Houston if depends if Luka or Reeves comes back, but if not, I'm just going to say Houston in 5. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty easy for them just against one old LeBron, a 40-year-old LeBron. Uh so Nuggets versus Timberwolves. This is actually a good one. I I don't know. I think this is going to go down to a 7 game series. I'm going to go with Minnesota here. I'm going to go with the upset. I think Minnesota genuinely has a real chance. I know like most people, over 80% of the people are picking Denver to win. I think Minnesota will make this a great series. I think it goes to 7. I think they win it. I think, you know, I'm going to pick Minnesota here. Minnesota in 7. Uh Portland, San Antonio. Yeah, it's not even really close. Avdia is a great player, but San Antonio is also young too, so they've never been in the playoffs, especially with Wemby. I don't know how they're gonna look like. They're gonna be inexperienced. They're young. Portland's also young though. I'm gonna say, obviously the winning team Spurs. I'm gonna say 4 or 5. I'm gonna say 5. I'll give Avdi and the Trailblazers 1, but yeah, that's gonna be about it. Pistons Magic. Screw you, Orlando. Ah, I really wanted to see the Pistons versus the Hornets. I think Hornets could add a real chance at upsetting the number 1 seed Detroit. I thought they could have possibly beat them if they had made it here. Like we were robbed of that matchup. I actually hate Orlando so much. Sorry, Magic fans, but yeah, I just like I really wanted to see that Detroit versus Charlotte matchup. I think that would have been a great series, fun series, especially with LaMelo. With Khan's shooting. I know he's been struggling. Lately, but you know, but here we are though. If we're talking about this matchup, I think Detroit should have this pretty easy. I haven't seen Detroit in the playoffs, and Orlando looked good against Charlotte, so I'm going to say I'll give Orlando 1. I'm gonna say Detroit in 5. Uh, the 4-5 matchup, the ones who are always the closest, Cleveland versus Toronto. Obviously, Cleveland has more of the veteran experience. Mitchell's been in the playoffs. Harden, he's a vet. Toronto's a young team. Uh, I come from Toronto myself. I might be a little biased here, but I think Toronto's done well against Cleveland this season, and you know I think they've done well against Cleveland this season. I think they can maybe create an upset. I don't think the Harden over Garland upgrade is gonna make that much of a significance, especially with Harden's age. I think he's a bit old now, so I'm gonna say Raptors in seven. I think it goes down to seven. I think it's gonna be very close. Uh, I like both teams actually. Like, wouldn't be surprised if and like either wins, but I'm gonna lean towards Raptors in seven. Sorry, Caps fans. Uh, Knicks Hawks. This one's tough. Like, this one's really close actually. Atlanta's been really hot, great team. Like, uh, like I think this comes down to game seven. I'm actually gonna go with another upset here. I think Atlanta will win in a 7-game series. I'm gonna have two upsets here. Um, yeah, I think Hawks win in seven in a very close 7-game series. Like I said, wouldn't be surprised if New York. Yeah, I expect a good series, but wouldn't be surprised if either team wins. Celtics Sixers. Uh, I don't know how healthy Embiid's gonna be. I think that will be the deciding factor. Um I think Boston's a great team this year. I think they'll have it in probably 5 games. Okay, so second round. Uh OKC Houston. I think OKC will probably win this in I would say 5 games. I don't know. I don't think Van Vliet's coming back. Like, they don't have the veteran leadership like they had last year. I don't. I think OKC is just going to be too strong for them. I think OKC wins it in pretty easy fashion, 5 games. Uh, Spurs Timberwolves. This one's tough. I think it comes down to game seven because, like, really, Spurs are the better team, but Timberwolves have the experience. They've been in the playoffs before, and they have Anthony Edwards, which I think is arguably a better player than Victor Wembanyama. Yes, I think at least offensively, Wemby's great offensively as well. He's better defensively, but Edwards, he's been in the playoffs. He has that experience, the leadership. Uh, I think it comes down to a 7-game series. Who do I pick here? Ooh, I'm, I don't know. I'm going to lean towards, uh, I'm saying, I'm gonna say Timberwolves. Like, I'm gonna take experience over talent here. I think it's gonna be really close. Like, you know, um, Spurs are the better team, but they lack the experience. That's the thing. They're a really young team, right? So I think San Antonio, I think Minnesota can create an upset here. I think Timberwolves, you know, they're they might not have the best team, but they got, experience, great leadership. They got the defense there. I think Minnesota takes it. I think Minnesota takes it in seven. I'm sorry, Spurs fans, but you know, why not? Uh Pistons Raptors. Uh I'm gonna go with, you know, I think Toronto both I mean, yeah, both are very young teams. Uh but Pistons are number one seed for a reason. I think I'm gonna go with Detroit here, even being from Toronto. I'm gonna go with Detroit in maybe a close 7-game series. I expect a good brawl between the two young Bucks, but yeah, Detroit, I think, just has the better star power, better overall team, and first seed for a reason. I think they take it. Hawks Celtics. I think Atlanta gives Boston a little trouble, but I think Boston ultimately takes it. You know, um, Boston. I think yeah, I think Boston takes it. I genuinely think Atlanta will put up a good fight. I think Boston takes it in maybe 5 or 6. Uh, I'm gonna say 5. But yeah, don't be surprised if Atlanta pushes it to a 6 or 7, 6, 7. Um, so next round is conference finals. OKC Minnesota. I think OKC has this pretty easy again. I'm gonna say, maybe 6 games. I'll give I think Minnesota puts up a good fight, but I think OKC will just be a little too strong there. Detroit, Boston. Uh ooh, that's tough. I like both are really good teams. Like they're both 1 and 2 for a reason. But I'm gonna lean towards Boston because of their experience here and their overall like leadership. They got a bunch of vets. Arguably even have the better team, but yeah, just their experience. I'm gonna give it to them. I'm gonna say Boston here. I'm gonna say Boston in a close 7 game series. Um, and yeah, uh, and last but not least, OKC versus sorry, where is it? Where is it? Finals. OKC versus Boston. I think this is going to be a very close series. I think it's going to come down to Game 7 again, just like the Indiana series last year with Oklahoma City. Uh, you know, I think it's going to be very close. But I'm going to lean towards I'm going to say OKC won it last year. I'm going to say Boston wins it this year. I think Boston has the veteran. Boston has more experience than OKC. Boston, they both have great teams. That's why they're on the top of their standings, top of the game. You know, they got, but they do have the more experience than OKC. Even though OKC won last year, so I'm gonna give it to Boston in 7. I think Celtics win, and yeah, I think Celtics win in 7 games, and that is going to be that is that is going to be my prediction for the 2026 NBA playoffs. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, let me know if you guys like. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. And how would you guys have it? And yeah, let me know. And if you're interested, check out any of my other videos. And yeah, this is my prediction. I have Boston, I guess, winning the championship in 7 games against the Thunder. I think it's gonna be fun though, but yeah, we'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, especially if you guys stayed until the end, and yeah, thank you.